As we'll see in upcoming lectures, it can be very useful to have sequences of numbers that represent the indices of strings or lists. In this lecture, I will introduce the Python built-in function range, and we'll use it for this purpose. In this first example, we will use a for loop in conjunction with range to generate and display a sequence of integers from 0 up to and including 9. So for each number in, and this is where we use range. Range will generate that sequence of numbers. I'm going to pass in the value 10. This is the value of the sequence that we are going up to. I'll print each number in the sequence. The numbers we see on the screen are integer values from 0 through 9. The starting value produced is by default 0. The ending value is up to 10, so 9 is our ending value. And the step, or the difference between any two values in the sequence, is by default 1. Let's look at the help for range. The help is rather lengthy, but I want to focus on the header. We can see from this header that there are up to 3 arguments that we can provide to the function. The one that we provided in our example was the stop, or the stopping value. We can optionally provide a starting value, for which the default is 0, and we can optionally provide a step. If we omit that, then the default, as I mentioned and showed in the example, is a step of 1. One of the ways that we'll use range is to generate a sequence of numbers that represent the indices of a string or a list. So for the string computer science, we'll use range to generate its indices. Computer science has 16 characters, so the indices are values 0, 1, 2, up to 15. Using range, we can generate those values. I could pass 16 as the argument to range, but to be more general, I can say go up to the length of the string. Notice that I'm using I to represent the index of S, so I is short for index. And the values 0 through 15 are printed. But perhaps we only want the indices starting from index 1. We can use the optional parameter start to indicate this. So I can pass in 1 for the start index, and then go up to the length of the string. And when we print the value this time, we see that we go from 1 up to and including 15. Now let's say that we only want odd indices. To do this, we can use all 3 of the parameters. So the first is the start parameter, starting at 1, the end, or the stop value, and now the step. By default, the step is 1, so we go from values 1 to 2 to 3. I'm going to increase the step to 2, getting values 1, 3, 5, 7, and so on. And that gives us the odd indices for the string S.